Okay.
Hi, a bunch of you have asked about making peanut brittle, and you say, oh geez, how do you do that? Well, it's pretty simple. Doris taught me, and I'm going to show you real quick. A couple things to start with. Again, real simple. Parchment paper. You're going to need this a little bit later. Cookie sheet. Throw your parchment paper on there. And I'll tell you what, even though parchment paper is designed to be non-stick, you throw a little bit of this on there anyway. A little light coating of ham. It's going to help you out. All right, come on over here. This is everything you need to make peanut brittle. You need corn syrup, light corn syrup, baking soda, some good peanuts, a candy thermometer, that's critical, some butter, and a little bit of water. That's it. So what we're going to do, you probably also want to have a nice non-stick pan. Very, very helpful. So throw that guy up on there, and we're going to work on a medium heat. We're going to get our thermometer put in here. And I have it set for hard crack, okay? It's going to be about 300 degrees, 3 to 305, something like that. So we're just going to go ahead and get this thing started. In this batch, this is a double batch, but it's pointless to make a single batch. So I've got 2 cups of sugar. Alright? And I've got a half a cup of water. I'm going to throw that in there. And then I've got a cup of the corn syrup. And again, we're just going to put that all in the pot at one time. We don't add our peanuts yet. We get this in here. Get our heat going. And you want to get all this out of there. This is really not a liquid measure cup, but sometimes it's easier to work with this style. Corn syrup's a little sticky. Alright, we'll set that off to the side. And we've got our thermometer set for 300 degrees, and that's when we're going to consider pulling this out. Anyhow, you got to begin stirring. You want to get that heat going. Come on, bring it over so you can see inside this pot here. So this is what this looks like when you start. And that's going to get real clear and come to a boil. And that's just going to take a little bit of time here, so we'll come back.
Okay.
Alright, anyway, we got this thing boiling pretty good now. I don't know if you can see in there or not.
Yep.
We're actually a little bit high. We're at 217. So anyway, next we're going to throw in our peanuts. Don't worry about that, just get those all in there. And then it's a mixing fest. So we got to watch this. We have to keep it, stirred up and keep our eye on it. You don't want to walk away from this, all right? And you want to keep your eye on the thermometer. And when it gets up to about 300 degrees, then we're going to pull the thermometer out. We're going to pull it off the heat. And that's when we'll add our butter and the baking soda. Okay, so that's all in that one ramekin in there. And then you're going to stir like crazy. We'll show you that in just a second. But meanwhile, you just got to keep this thing stirring. Don't let it sit because it will burn. And, then you're going to throw out a lot of product. Okay, we're up to about 295 degrees right now. Kind of want to take a look in there and see what's going on. We're going to be pulling this pretty soon. Always over medium heat though. Real quick on the recipe, again, it's 2 cups of sugar. We had a cup of corn syrup, light corn syrup. A half a cup of water. We mix that together. And then we let that over medium heat again come to a boil, nice and clear. Then we add in our peanuts. I had 4 cups of peanuts, right? Still staying on that medium heat. We keep mixing, always stirring just like this, right? Until you get up to about 300 to 305 degrees on your thermometer, hard crack stage, there that is. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and that happens right about now. So we're going to pull this out, put our thermometer off to the side. This is usually the panic stage, but I kind of like it a little darker anyway. I think it's more flavorful. Doris doesn't necessarily agree with it. But anyway, so I think that's probably pretty good. And this is what it's going to look like before you add the butter and the baking soda. Okay, that's the consistency you're looking for. We're going to pull it off the heat. Our butter, our baking soda, again, 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 teaspoons of the baking soda, and then you want to vigorously mix this in. Keep it going until the butter melts, which mysteriously is longer than you would think. Make sure that's mixed real well. Now listen, this is really hot. I wouldn't put my face in there. Gets that nice creamy look up on top. I don't know if you can see that or not. Smells great. And that is that. Alright, all we gotta do now is spread this out onto the cookie sheet, let it cool, and we're ready to go. I have a trick here to get this out of here. It's kind of heavy. Sometimes you might need help doing it. It's really, really hot. If you think you might be tempted to lick the spatula, walk away. All that out of here. This is where you're going to really go. Oh boy, I'm glad I have a non-stick pan. Alright, we're going to come back and get the rest of this out of here. Yeah, very hot. Okay. Set this guy out to the side. And then you want to kind of spread this out. You have to have something over here to do that with. I'm using another one of Doris's tools that he probably doesn't want me to use. But it functions pretty well. So, you want to stretch it. I don't want to make it too thin. But you got to stretch it out a bit. Too bad you can't. They need to add a smell button to the video. This smells great. A lot of fun to make. We love doing this around Christmas time. You can see there's some Doris's jam she was making today as well. Just give these little gifts and stuff. And, you know, forgot to tell you about adding the love in. You got to add love in. Big helping. We always do that. All right. Now listen, this cookie sheet's going to be hot. So, you can kind of look up over here. We've got a few that we already finished. We just set those out to cool, and they end up, you know, like this guy here. All right. Every year, it's kind of like this production where, you know, I have to go to the dollar store and get my tins. You know, and there's a whole thing about that because I always buy the wrong ones, and they're always the wrong, you know, design or whatever, and some old lady pattern, and I get yelled at. But eventually, we get the right ones, and I love the dollar store because everything's, well, it's $1. Anyhow, just take one of those very simple little wax paper on the inside. Once this is cool, and if you don't let it cool, you're going to have a real problem on your hand. And then pretty much just, you know, simplify, break this stuff up, throw it in the tin, give it to your friends. It's really a great holiday treat, and it's become a tradition with us, and you know, it's kind of fun. So that's why we do it. So I hope you all give this a try. You know, you asked how it's done. That's how it's done. If I can do it, you can do it. And it's always fun to get a homemade gift, and you know, it's a lot of fun to give one. The stuff's great, and it's great to eat. All right.